Hi everyone, I'm Holly and I'm the maker here at Missouri River Soap. In this video today, I am going to deal with a bit of a situation that I have here. I got so busy preparing all my extra rainbow products, my scrub, the wax melt, the bath bombs, etc., that I actually have a whole bunch of soaps to cut. I got them made, but I wasn't able to get them unmolded and get them cut. So I thought we would just cut all the soaps in this video together. So the first one we have here is Figgy Cream, a nice big batch of Figgy Cream. We have a nice big batch of Sunny Beaches. We have a J'adore type. We have Belle. We have one called Birch. We have Magnolia. And then we also have some molds of sea salt soap. So we're gonna unmold these ones still in the wood molds first because I cannot manage to get this tape undone with my gloves on. I can hardly get it with my gloves off. I'm really excited to see this Belle one. I loved how just the whole making process went with this one. I'm excited to see what it looks like inside. I had really regretted not filming the making. All of these soaps I did not film the making in any way. I had so many, I still have so many videos to catch up on, and we're kind of in the middle of rainbows as I film this, so I do have several rainbow soap videos to go up still. So I did not film this, but sometimes I actually refer back to my own videos to see how I made something. So I did kind of regret it just a little bit that I did not film this one. I tried a new technique on this J'adore type. I obviously can't name it that, but I am going to come up with a different name and an idea of some sort. But this one, I did a fun new, it's not new in the whole scheme of things. It's new for me. I haven't really done a design like this. I feel like sometimes when I just jam out to music that I can come up with little different things. I'm not focusing on, not only am I making the soap, but trying to talk and stay in the shot and, you know, all the things. It actually does take quite some time. Takes a lot of brain power to process all the things at once. So if I really want to get creative, oh my, we had a bit of a leakage on that one. But if I really want to get creative, sometimes I just need to do it by myself. Because even if I just set up the camera, I'm still focused on looking up, am I in the right spot? Can you see, etc. This one's kind of interesting. I don't know if you can really, I'm sure you can't see that, but I have virtually no ash on this whole batch except for right up there. So I don't know what that's all about. I will spray and spray and spray. I leave my soap. I just did my rainbow prep soap making video and I mentioned unmolding at minimum 24 hours. But you know what? I got to thinking that's really not true for me. I like to let my soap set for usually 48 hours before I unmold them. And the longer that they can just set in the mold, stay covered up, and just fully cool down, it's a lot better on the ash. Now, that being said, I don't know what happened here. It didn't seem to matter because I made all of these soaps I made between April 2nd and April 10th, I think, and it is now the 20th. So, you know, it's been a while. I'm a little concerned that it's going to be more difficult to cut these. But my batch is one of those, as long as the paper stays wrapped around it, it's usually cuttable. I'm excited to peek in at this beach one because I feel like it went really well. And the last one to unmold here is Figgy Cream. And, you know, we've been here, done that with the Figgy Cream. It is a classic. It is a favorite. We all love it. If you don't love it, that's fine. because I probably still like you. No matter what. We don't all like the same things. Alright, so I'm going to do Belle first because I'm really most excited to see Belle. And I don't really remember why I named it. I think at the time it was named after like Emily Eddington. I used to watch her videos all the time back when makeup was important to me. And she has a little girl named Belle, and I think it has something to do with that, not so much the Beauty and the Beast thing. So this bottom is a gold and white, and then the top is yellow, pink, green, and purple. There is a mica line, which I see is kind of weird over on the side. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to get the splitter. So my splitter is from Smith Creek Studio, and I don't believe that it is available anymore, but I love it. And this is a 2-loafer mold. And I still need to cut off a little off the side. Now I don't know that I'm going to really show every part of every batch because this video would be very long. But we'll see how it goes. Oops. And I may not do a lot of cleaning up of my equipment between batches because they're all the same thing. They're all made with the same recipe and such. Oh, that's pretty neat. I am not seeing a lot of pink, but that looks good so far. That's a pretty straight line for me intentionally not doing it straight, I think. So we'll see how that goes. So this was an in the pot swirl on the top and the bottom, 2 separate in the pot swirls. If you hear a bit of a whining, my husband is working on the cabin because it's Saturday and the planer is going. Oh yes, this is pretty. Isn't that nice? I quite like that. It's beautiful. The base is predominantly the gold with the white poured into it. And then the top was another swirl, but I kind of did it in a different way. The way I poured it all in. It wasn't the same as an in the pot swirl. It wasn't the same as I do it on Sweetly Clean. Now I see that I have a little bit of modeling in the pink, and I did not add any really additional color in the pink. The pink is amaranth, which it does have titanium dioxide in it, but it's definitely a little bit more mottled, and sometimes that just will go away. And so let's cut this and I'll tell you more. So Belle is a fragrance blend of watermelon, grapefruit, and sweet pea. It's so good. Now I did have to adjust some of my fragrances. It's still very similar, but I will double check it after the cure. It always will be a little bit different when you have to switch out fragrances in a blend. That's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. To hide my face. Isn't that pretty? So it's so goofy how the green is so dominant over the purple and the yellow because they were the same amount. And so then on the top, what I did was I just drizzled some gold mica with a little olive oil, and I just kind of smeared it around with a spoon. And that turned out really pretty. So here we have one bar of belt. I think that turned out quite beautiful. I love that gold swirl. I love the gold mica line. I just think that looks really nice. Then throw that top on there. That's really pretty. That's really pretty. Now I am a little concerned that I have no trays, so because I still have a bunch of rainbow soap to pull off and package, so that was my goal for this weekend, is get all the rainbow soap packaged. So, I don't know. So it'll probably still end up stacked up for a while till I pull those rainbow soaps off. And I don't have a lot of like packaging, like packaged product space right now, since I don't have the full use of this workshop. So I will eventually need a second shelf and a second curing rack and such, but I don't have that for right now. So I'm kind of keeping things on the curing racks until I pull them off. So I still have just a little bit of lavender, a little bit of calendula carrot, little vanilla latte, some of those that are still sitting on the shelves, but they're, as I speak, either gone or mostly gone. Let's see what this one is going to look like. Let's see, I think you guys can see all right. I guess I should move the camera down a little bit more for the next portion. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that mica line. That's really pretty, and I'm pretty sure that it's focusing on the soap. I hope so. Oh, it's so good. I definitely am picking up on the watermelon, the sweet pea, and the grapefruit. So that really worked out. All right, so let's cut the J'adore type. Did anybody watch those, see those commercials with, I think her name is Charlize Theron. And she's just like saunters, you know, in the pretty dress. And then she's just like, J'adore. I'm like, okay. Anyway, I just love that scent. Now, side note, I'm a little sensitive to it. And so I don't really, like, it's not a perfume that I've bought or anything because I am sensitive. I used to love getting, back in the olden days when I actually read, like, magazines. What would they have been? Glamour? Self, maybe? I don't know. Back in the olden days, like 20 years ago, I would get those, and you had the little perfume things, and oh, it's so good. I just loved that scent so very much. Well, I had tried it once from the maker that's like the salt company, Midwest Salt, and they have like some fragrances or something. I had tried it from there. Extremely sensitive to it. Extremely. And so I haven't touched it, but I always hoped, ooh, that's pretty. I'd always hoped that a supplier that I loved, like, you know, it had a lot of soaping notes, which this one had none, by the way, but it's a new one at Wholesale Supplies Plus as a type. So I was like, oh, I have to try it again. Now I was originally going to go for like a wedding season release. And so I was kind of thinking on the lines of floral and stuff like that, but I've kind of backed off of the wedding season idea because, you know, a lot of people get married in May and June, and as it turns out, our neighbor, the one who is helping us build our cabin, both of his sons are getting married this year. And I don't know, that was kind of on my mind, just like, oh, wedding season. So what I did was I put mica in an oil mixture throughout the soap. I didn't mix it into the soap. I drizzled in and kind of stirred around. So we'll see. This could be a complete disaster inside. I see one spot over on my side that could be an issue. But I wanted just, yes, that's actually really pretty. And I was trying to be really careful because based on the fact that this is a floral / perfume, I just presumed that it was going to accelerate on me. And, you know, we're going to have titanium dioxide, glycerin rivers, and all the things. So I was trying to manage all of that. Oh, this turned out great. Look at it. I hope it's focusing on the soap. I'm pretty sure it is, but I can't see it. I need to get an external monitor and like have it like right here in my face so that I can actually see it. I think this actually turned out really pretty. Let's kind of peek around. I mean, all the bars are pretty much the same. Now I did a bit of a twirly swirly top on this one. I really like how that turned out. So here we have where we got a little bit of a pocket, and it kind of looks like, oh, what'd you call it? It's like a geode. My daughter would be like, Mother, how do you not know this? She loves rocks and gems and stuff like that. So as soon as we get this as soon as we get this house cabin thing figured out and our fifth wheel is back in business as a mobile unit, we're going to go into eastern Montana a little ways. We're going to go to Butte and some of the other places that has like little quarry dealios. So let's look at this one. So that's really pretty. I like how that turned out. And it looks like I mixed it all well enough that there's no major holes. Have you seen like those bath bombs that people make? I feel like Nikki with Bubble Babies has done it before. Bubble Babes, maybe, actually. I think she's done that. Bath bombs that look like geodes with all that mica and stuff. Gorgeous. That's kind of what it reminds me of. This is not a super duper strong fragrance. I did not want to be overwhelmed since I, in particular, have issues with this fragrance. And I am still a little sensitive to it. But I love everything about this bar. I love it so much. It turned out perfection, exactly what I wanted. Just wispy little flecks of gold that you wouldn't have gotten in, you know, the soap where it was just all mixed in. So I'm very pleased with this batch. Ended up a little chunky on that end. There's a section here that I want to check because I see it as being a little darker. So from my viewpoint, you know, I saw this down there and turn around, but it's still good. It's still great. So, yay. Moving on. All right, let's do Magnolia because it's kind of along the same lines as J'adore. And I just put this mica swirl on the top. Oh my goodness, it's a little heavy, like hold it out like that. So this one is just a white bar. Now I've done a Magnolia before. I think this is a different Magnolia fragrance. But I've done one before and I did multicolors on the top because this one moves like crazy. But that being said, it didn't move too bad for me this time. Whoa. So I was just prepared that the top was just gonna be super thick and difficult to deal with, and then I literally had wonderful soap making days on all of these. So I tried to kind of do my figure 8 swirl here per loaf. I didn't quite make it, but I don't think it actually matters. And so this one I did super well again with the titanium dioxide and my water levels. So, yay. Oh, that's beautiful. So, just, okay. I guess the paper stuck with that one. This is so creamy. Just creamy, creamy, creamy. Now, don't think I mentioned it, I thought it. And that's sometimes things that happen with me. I think things and then I think I say things and then sometimes I think I haven't said things. But the thing that I'm not sure if I said or not is that some of these florals are on the lighter side. Usage rates are low, and I'm not one to want a floral just to like knock me over. I want to have a nice little floral scent and be happy. So I have designed these accordingly. Back in, oh, this is one of the first ones. Those sliced up way better than they cut. So when we lived in Missouri, and it was the first house we bought, it was in Belton, which is a suburb of Kansas City. And someone had put in a magnolia tree. And I'm not even sure I'd really noticed one before. Most beautiful tree. We just had the most beautiful pink flowers. I just loved it. I just loved it so much. But I don't think it actually made it. And we had to take it out and we replaced it with a maple, which was quite dandy. So this is not the same as my 1900. Okay. I have no idea why my computer did that. Things are weird out here. Yesterday, my computer would not even start up. Just something was wrong. Like, it's got one of those, it's like water cooled and all that. It was the one I used to do all my editing on, but I don't have room for a tower, and I don't, in the camper, and I don't sit out here to edit. That's just, I will eventually, but for the most part, I edit videos and do all my computer work in the, just at the table, you know, drinking coffee in the morning, or, oh, here we go. Hold on. I don't know why I like swing my foot. I'm like, woo, 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 swing my foot around. I don't know. I guess it helps me. It helps with strength. Anyway, I do all that editing inside. And I used to have that big old computer down at my desk in my house in Missouri. Anyway, it's water cooled, it's gaming computer, it's what I needed to edit videos at the time. Anyway, some G-force or something was all lit up, but the whole computer was not up and running at the same time. So that was a little creepy and weird. Anyway, it is now started up. My husband named it the Beast, and so the Bose lady is like, connected to B-E-A-S-T. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. It took me a long time to figure out what she was talking about. She didn't say the Beast. She said B-E-A-S. Oh no, she says, I think starts with the. Connected to T-H-E-B-E-A-S-T. I'm like, okay, lady, you're a little wonky. So to finish my thought on the magnolia, it is not the same as 1900 magnolia. My 1900 magnolia is a blackberry magnolia scent and is named after the location that my ancestors lived in West Virginia. I was doing all that research back in the day on Ancestry.com, and they lived on 1900 magnolia, or at 1900 magnolia, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. Now the story with this one, and I'm really glad that I cut off the edges, because even though my ink is on the outside of the paper, it has somehow managed to seep onto myself. So we'll cut that off. Won't be anything. Now this one is birch. And I really wanted this one to be black and white. This is when I kind of went away from the wedding season idea. So I was going to have like a magnolia with a gold, no pink on it at the time. And then I was going to do this birch as black, so kind of like black and white, like a tuxedo. But I realized I don't own any black. I have never purchased any charcoal or black mica or black oxide or anything. So I switched it to kind of like this coppery color with green. Oh my goodness, and see, at this point I don't even remember what I did. That's beautiful. What did I do with you? What did I do with you? So anyway, it was supposed to be this fun, you know, like tuxedo-y type look. And I had to go a different route. But I wish I wasn't as heavy on the color because all the other ones are sort of delicate. And I mean, it leans more masculine. It doesn't really need to be gendered. Okay, so my camera just died, and I never relate to my camera more than when I go to, you know, fix it and it's like battery exhausted. I'm like, you know what? I feel you. What's that saying? I'm not an early bird or a night owl. I'm just like a permanently exhausted pigeon. Something like that. I'm not actually that sleepy or exhausted, to tell you the truth. I'm doing well. Well, I know I was talking about something before my camera was exhausted, but I don't remember what it is. So if I don't think of it, I will, and it's worth finishing, I will pop that in there in a note. Oh, this one looks so pretty. Oh, that is so nice. I think I was talking about, yes, making sure we're recording. I think I was talking about is more on the masculine side, you know, but it's not really a gendered scenario. I mean, it's soap. Does soap have to be gendered? No, I think. Lady, quit it. But it's 2:22, and that's a fun thing to see. Anyway, but my menfolk would be more inclined to pick this one up over the others for sure. I actually made my teenage son a room spray in this. Not that he needs a room spray. I have had 2 teenage boys, and this one is not going to be a teenager much longer. But you know, stereotypically, the dudes, their rooms don't always smell that great. The teenager I have at home now, my word, he exudes the most wonderful scent. I do not know how that happens, but everything, I'm probably going to embarrass him if he ever watched it, but he smells amazing. He always smells amazing. And I think that is just awesome. I remember back in the olden days, we went to visit some people around Knoxon, Montana. And they had 2 teenage boys. And I had a doozy of a crush on one of them, which his name was Caleb too, oddly enough. I guess I have a thing for Caleb's. Anyway, I remember being a teenage girl and going into their bedroom and thinking I was going to die because that was just wrong. That was just wrong to smell so funky. And my mom, I think my mom at the time was like, that's just a boy for you. Okay, well, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. That just got really weird. I don't know. This is a weird chatty video. This one turned out really nice though. I think this has just a fantastic swirl. And I think what I did is, holy moly, my dog I just saw a streak of black just take off, and I heard a bit of a barky growl, and I was like, oh no, because our property doesn't extend very far this way. So I didn't want him to be going and bugging the new neighbors that have been coming out and doing some work. So I booked it. So to finish up, what I think I was saying was that on the last birch one, what I did was I just poured in my main portion, the creamy portion. I poured in the green, I poured in the copper, and then I just took a spoon and kind of figure eighted it inside the batch. So as I was unmolding or unwrapping this one, I saw something that I completely forgot about, and I'm a little bit concerned. I had made this soap on a day that was pretty nice. And I don't know if you can kind of see that right in the middle. I turned off the mini split and I forgot to turn it back on. And it got down to like 40 degrees in here that night. I was like, really? Of all the batches, that had to be literally the most difficult batch I ever make. So here's hoping I don't have a partial gel in this thing. Here's a hoping. I did do pretty well with this batch. There is a video on my channel for making this one. It was from back in the day. Oh, this one gives me a run for my money. It is a challenge. Oh, weird. I've got like that, I almost call it like an inside ash, but it's really just because of all the water that I have to use. With all the water I have to use, so I can see I'm not going to be happy with this batch. That's a bummer. Ugh. The titanium dioxide is just causing me more problems, and I'm not quite sure why that is, because I do use the same amount of water I did last time. What I'm trying to say is I use the same amount of water as I did last time. So I shouldn't have had that. Interesting. Yeah. I've been sitting there looking at this one pretty happy with it, but now I'm kind of bummed. This dang batch and I. This dang batch and I. I did really well except for the middle green layer. What I had done was I had my stick blender in there and I was ready to go. And so I poured in the fragrance and I stick blended it, and oh my gosh, it rised and got thick so much quicker than the other batches. I stirred in the fragrance and then I blended it. So I have a bit of an air pocket there, which is to be expected on some of the bars, obviously. I'm not, we'll have to see, but I don't, yeah, It looks like I've got a ring right here, so right here, and right here, which that'll be fine if it's just like the couple bars on the end didn't gel all the way. They're still fine. It just creates, you don't have to gel soap. It still saponifies and everything. It just takes a little longer to cure usually. Which, this is going to get such a long cure, doesn't even matter anyway, but fiddlesticks. That's what my grandma would say. Fiddlesticks. Of all the batches, this was the one I really, really wanted to turn out. And it may still be alright. It may still. So you can see on the loaf now closer to the edge, or to the edge, it's like to here. So that would be a couple of bars on each side. So we'll just see what the loaves look like. I do love how the top turned out. The top is just so wavy and beautiful. I had to delay making this batch actually because some of the micas weren't available. That is some funky business. It actually, the partial gel thing doesn't look that weird. It's just that like it has a weird line on the edge where that, I don't know what you would even call that. It's almost like an inside ash, but I don't think it is. So all of these bars are going to have it right there. And And I could always sell these things as Gone Wonkies. It's not a huge issue for the people that absolutely love this fragrance. But it is a little disappointing. And I'm not quite sure where I have gone awry. I may have to reduce water and then just try my best. A hope and a prayer. So this edge didn't really, so it wouldn't have gelled at all, and it actually looks pretty good. So I don't know. I don't know. So this is one that people have been waiting on, so I am quite disappointed. Quite. Because I use the same amount of water in some of the other batches even. And so let's see here. It's definitely glycerin, titanium dioxide related, because the bottom layer is just straight up honey blush mica, no titanium dioxide in it, and it did not do that. Interesting. As far as I'm concerned, soap making is just always a crapshoot. It doesn't matter how good you get, you're still gonna, I mean, I'm saying this because maybe to make myself feel better. I don't know. But in my experience, crap still just happens. It doesn't matter how many years you've been doing things. Sometimes it just goes awry, no matter how much planning you put into it. It's possible the fragrance has been reformulated. I did notice it was listed different. So I could always try going with a different supplier next time. See if maybe it works a little bit different. So my first instinct is that I just want to remake it. Like I just want to tomorrow just do all the things and remake it. But I don't have the fragrance and I'm kind of low on supplies and everything. So we can see how it was kind of supposed to look. So the heat ended up causing a lot of the migration where it did end up gelling. But, oh well. Oh well. Alright, so hopefully my Precious here will help me feel better because I'm very disappointed. And of course it was one of the bigger batches. But I do pay my bookkeeper, who is one of our great friends. It's my husband's friend predominantly, but my friend. We pay her in soap. So I made a custom batch for her just a little while ago. It's curing, and then she'll probably get a loaf of the Sunny Beaches soap and she'll be good with it. And then I have another friend that really likes that one that we kind of do an exchange. So she'll be fine with it. It's just going to take me just a little bit of time to reconcile with myself that in the whole scheme of what's important in life, what's important in business, that one batch is very low on the list. So I just have to probably go sit in the sunshine for a little bit while my husband and my son are building the cabin, and that should just do what it takes. But look at the perfection here. It turned out so wonderful. You are my Precious. I want to. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You know that one. You are my Precious. Perfection. Is it weird to have affection for things like this? I'm just like, I'm cutting it and I'm like, you are just my sweet baby. And I just love you so much. You'll do Mom proud. A girl at our coffee joint the other day, she's like, I'm a bit much. I'm a bit much. People don't get me. Some people can't handle me. And I was like, I feel you. I understand you. You speak in my language. I am not for everybody. I understand that. But hopefully the ones that are watching and enjoying understand I'm just a little quirky. So I managed to set this one down a little bit weird over there. So I'm going to shift it up a bit so that I kind of bonk. Oh, geez. Because I kind of bonked its corner a little bit. But it looks like I got that taken out for the most part. I'm one of those people, I'm a bit of a roller coaster. I love big, I'm happy big, but then I can go down pretty low and be pretty dark. Of course, you guys don't really see that. But I can get in a funk that the peoples cannot get me out of. I think a lot of us are that way, but I try to just be mostly happy-go-lucky, goofy. I always thought I was a fun mom. I thought everybody understood that I was fun and quirky and I made life fun and not too particular, but I don't know, it didn't seem to pan out for me very well in the long run with my oldest. Alright, so I am just going to keep cutting this soap, reconcile my mental status a little bit, and then I will be back to unmold the pink lemonade. That is not even right at all. Not even right at all. But it is lemon rose. And it's pink and it's yellow, and so good Lord, I need a break. Hold on. Alright, so this batch is the lemon rose water type. And it is a sea salt soap, so I do mold it in these molds from Wholesale Supplies Plus. Now, I have to apologize in advance that I only have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 bars. I either didn't order the right amount or just my brain was, I'd gone awry. For some reason, I don't have the right amount of bars here that I hope to make. I thought I was going to make 30 some bars, so then I realized, like, wait a minute, you didn't actually buy or receive enough fragrance oil. I'm sure I bought I'm sure I received what I bought. I just did not think it through. So these ones I probably should have unmolded a while ago. Sticking a little bit in the corners, which mine do sometimes anyway. But they're supposed to be kind of rough and rustic, so I'm okay with that actually. It smells really good. So I put some rose, ground up rose and sea salt. So hold on. So I was watching My Mountain Kitchen with, oh, I don't remember her name, and this is probably the saddest thing because she's Glenn Close's daughter. And I know it's not fair to just be recognized as Glenn Close's daughter, so I'll put her name on here, but she has a cooking show on Magnolia/Discovery is where I watch it. And in one recipe she made some shortbread, and she, in the food processor, she put some dried rose petals and some sugar. And I was like, wouldn't that be cool on top of my lemon rose water? And of course it would have been even more cool if I'd had maybe some lemon zest or something. So that's what I did. I just thought I'll start with the pink on the bottom, and I filled these, or covered them very, very well, and then I just shook off the excess. But I think it turned out really nice actually. Probably would have been happier if I had just put it in the corner. Now I noticed that these molds, they sat in our storage unit in Missouri for, well, how long? Not quite a year, from October to July. And then from July until, I don't know, a week and a half ago, whenever I made these, they sat in our trailer. So they've been in a tub, a nice Craftsman tub, but they've been sitting in our trailer, and they went hot, you know, Missouri in a storage unit. That, who knows what that was. Oh my goodness gracious, I don't even want to think about it. And then we went to minus 50 some up here. And so these molds have been through it just a little bit, and I think some of their texture has degraded just a little bit. I noticed when I was washing them that they weren't quite as pliable as they'd been before. So I probably just need to keep them in here and let them just acclimate longer. I had a little extra of the pink. But I should have unmolded these. I mean, salt soaps are finicky in the first place, but like I said, I was so busy with the rainbow stuff, I just did not have the space to be stretching out. See now how this one feels? This one feels a lot different. We'll see how it unmolds because it feels different. Yeah, look, this one is different. This one is unmolding much better. Ha! Interesting. This one, the bottom looks really nice. So I'm gonna have to buy some boxes, although I could wrap them in paper, but I probably will just buy the boxes. Although they have I probably should buy something where this salt isn't just going to fall out on everything. So we'll see. I think in the long run, I would have been happier if I'd stuck with my original decision and just put a little over here on the side. Now, one thing that I found interesting, and I'm sure my chemist, sciencey people will not be surprised by this scenario, but I had some more of these, like little pieces left, and I sprayed it with alcohol just to see what would happen. And it was actually kind of cool because they turned blue. The salt with the rose turned blue. So that's probably a whole thing, isn't it? That I should know as an adult. But apparently I do not. So yeah, that one mold in particular was just a little bit different. Of course, that was the well, that was the last of it, so it should have been, if anything, would have been heavier on the salt at the very bottom of my pitcher. So, I don't know. But I do love these colors. So this is the same yellow that I used in my rainbow soap that kind of went a little orangey. But it looks perfect here, and that's what I'm used to working with. But it does have a little bit of a, you know, whiteness from the coconut and the coconut oil and the salt in this bat. So that could be all that is just the extra lightening up of it. But like here is some pretty potent yellow, and it's definitely more yellow than orange, so who knows. Alright, so there we have all the soaps. They're cut, they're unmolded. It's such a beautiful day that I don't know that I'm going to mess with these anymore. I think I'm just going to turn off the lights, go inside, and leave this mess for tomorrow's Holly. But tomorrow's Holly is probably going to be very disappointed in past Holly. But current Holly, present Holly, does not give a hoot. As always, my products are available at moriversoap.com. Just make sure you check, because I don't know when this video is going to go up. Like the rainbow video, it went up 2 months after I made it, and the soap was listed on the website by the time the last video went up. So just make sure if there's anything that interests you that you go check out the website, check out my social media. So my website is moriversoap.com. You can find me on Instagram at moriversoap, and on Facebook I'm Missouri River Soap. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'm going to go sit in the sunshine and reflect on what's important and what is good in life and not that Silly Batches soap. I'll talk to you later.